Hello, welcome to our channel. Enjoy the video. The spark that ignited America, the early days of the Civil War. In the spring of 1861, America stood on the edge of a precipice. Tensions that had been simmering for decades finally boiled over. At the heart of it all was a question that had haunted the nation since its founding. Could a country built on the ideals of liberty endure while half of it allowed slavery? The storm broke after the election of Abraham Lincoln in 1860. To the southern states, Lincoln's rise to power symbolized the end of their way of life. Fear turned to action. South Carolina seceded first, with 10 more states following to form the Confederate States of America. In their eyes, they were fighting for independence, for their right to govern themselves as they saw fit. In the eyes of the Union, this was rebellion and existential threat to the United States. The first cannon fired on the morning of April 12, 1861. At Fort Sumter in Charleston Harbor, Confederate troops opened fire, and for 34 tense hours, Union forces held out until they were forced to surrender. News of the bombardment electrified the nation. War was no longer a threat, it was here. In response, Lincoln called for 75,000 volunteers to quell the rebellion. Men and boys flooded recruitment offices in both the North and South, eager to fight for what they believed in. Yet, this call to arms deepened the divide. Virginia, North Carolina, and Tennessee, previously hesitant, now joined the Confederacy. Families were torn apart. In many places, brothers stood on opposite sides of the coming fight. By July, the first major clash came at a small creek in Virginia called Bull Run. Both sides believed the war would be swift and glorious, but the reality was far different. The Union Army marched confidently toward Confederate forces, only to be met with fierce resistance. At one point, Confederate soldiers under General Thomas Stonewall Jackson held firm, inspiring their comrades to rally. By the day's end, the Union Army was in retreat, and the Confederates claimed victory. The battle shattered illusions. This would not be a quick or easy war. The North had the advantage in factories, railroads, and manpower, but the South had brilliant generals and a determination born of defending their homes. Both sides began to realize the scale of the conflict ahead. As the months passed, the Union and Confederacy crafted their strategies. The North focused on strangling the South economically with a naval blockade and seizing control of the Mississippi River, a plan dubbed the Anaconda Plan. The South, meanwhile, aimed to fight defensively, hoping to wear down Northern resolve and win recognition from foreign powers like Britain and France. But as 1861 turned to 1862, the war expanded. Battles erupted in Tennessee, Missouri, and along the coast. The sheer scale of mobilization began to sink in. Soldiers traded the thrill of enlistment for the grim realities of war, disease, brutal marches, and the ever-present specter of death. The early days of the Civil War were chaotic and uncertain. Yet, one thing was clear: this conflict would decide the future of the United States. Would it remain one nation, indivisible, or fracture into two? Both sides braced themselves for a long and harrowing journey, one that would test their endurance, their ideals, and the very essence of what it meant to be American. The story of the Civil War had just begun, but already, it was a tale of heartbreak, heroism, and hope.
Hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribing to our History YouTube channel means discovering fascinating stories, learning about the events that shaped our world, and gaining new perspectives, all in fun, easy-to-watch videos. Whether you're curious about ancient civilizations, major wars, or untold stories, this channel makes history exciting and easy to understand. Subscribe now to explore the past and see how it connects to today.